With God is heaven or hell. This statement highlights the absolute aspect of God in two ways. First, it points out the easily overlooked fact that God must also be the destroyer of everything, since God has no equal or opposite. Then it describes the opposing perspectives of this event as being the worst-case scenario or the best thing to ever happen. There is no need to imagine the Creator is a supernatural being in order to see the advantages worshiping God has over disbelief or willful ignorance. All you have to do is consider what God is the destroyer of all includes and implies. The only way to cease to exist as an individual is to return to God in the most literal sense possible. This can't be remotely up for debate, because that is the only way everything must cease to exist. We don't have to know how it happens to know what happens. What begins must end. And the final destination for all is back to the origin. Immaterial awareness. Because it is possible to find room to doubt everything, including what we witness, it is impossible to speak with absolute certainty about any experience after we die. We should be confident that we will be aware of our last instance of individual existence, because our soul, or whatever else you want to call, the source of our self-interest and self-awareness, is not composed of matter. We know our souls can't be material because a defining characteristic of matter is inertia. That means matter doesn't start or end any movement or action. Besides, we are able to map genes and split atoms, but haven't found any material that motivates action. Understanding this eliminates the notion that our soul is a part of the subconscious mind. They can be easily confused with each other because our minds are the bridge between body and soul. The mind wouldn't be able to feed the soul information unless it had some sort of inherent awareness. Death breaks the bond, but doesn't change the identity of anything. The matter returns to its inert state as it decays or gets consumed. Our inability to see what the soul does next shouldn't be an excuse to expect something contrary to what we know. One reality, two perspectives. As much as people might try to fantasize or imagine what it must be like to become one with timeless perfection, no one truly knows what it is like for real. At best, we can depict it as an unimaginably brief moment that lasts forever. Depending on your perspective, it could be freedom from all negativity or the loss of all positivity. The descriptions of heaven as a paradise in the sky and hell as fire that doesn't kill beneath the ground are attempts at relation through imagination. Take all the time you'd like, and you won't be able to come up with a better scenario than to be free of absolutely everything negative, or worse, than the absence of anything positive. It just doesn't evoke enough of an emotional reaction to be motivational. God didn't create heaven as a reward, or hell as a punishment. They come from the biased perspectives of an absolute reality based on each person's values. Learning about the reality while you live isn't meant to be a campaign for affection. Our worship can neither help nor hurt God in any way. It is an opportunity to take full advantage of experiencing perfection. No sacrifice needed. There is no cause to stress over whether or not we will be aware of our final moment as individuals. The reality itself points to the only scenario that allows permanent satisfaction. The only way to be free of all negativity erases the need for the positive. If you're not aware in the end, you wouldn't know. So there is no disappointment. The only people who claim to worship God that can be disappointed are those who took what was meant to be figurative literally. They are willing to sacrifice the now for new and improved versions of what they love most later, sometime after they die. Their idea of worshiping God is as an occupation with heaven as payment, instead of actually loving God most. God is not some genie granting the wishes of believers. Those who actually worship God know the gift is a change in perspective that increases the enjoyment of what's good and decreases any pain. It is better than any external or material gain.